was in the 10th grade, I took an AP psychology course. It was fascinating, learning about the complexities of the human mind. One of the most memorable topics that we discussed was schizophrenia, a mental disorder that affects over 3.2 million Americans every year. Schizophrenia is a very serious mental illness that completely changes the lives of everyone who is diagnosed with it. For the sake of those who are suffering with this mental disorder, it is important to know the signs, symptoms, causes, and treatments of schizophrenia, as well as how it affects the lives of those who have it. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, schizophrenia is a mental disorder that affects people's behavior, emotions, and thought process. Schizophrenia normally develops between the ages of 16 and 30, and the signs and symptoms of this disorder develop slowly over time. Early signs of schizophrenia are depression, hostility, deterioration of hygiene, inappropriate expression of laughing or crying, insomnia, forgetfulness, and disorganized speech. There are 3 types of symptoms of schizophrenia. These types include positive, negative, and cognitive symptoms. Positive symptoms are psychotic behaviors that are not normally seen in healthy people. These symptoms are delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, and disorganized behavior. Negative symptoms are disruptions to normal behavior and emotions. These symptoms include reduced emotion, lack of pleasure, reduced speaking, and difficulty starting and sustaining activities. Cognitive symptoms affect memory and thought process. These symptoms include poor executive functioning, poor memory, and the inability to focus. Gene Siegel and Melinda Smith are authors of an article about the causes and treatments of schizophrenia on healthguide.org. These 2 professional psychologists state that the causes of schizophrenia are not fully known, but are still being studied. Scientists believe that schizophrenia is caused by a combination of genetic and environmental factors, as well as brain structure abnormalities. Antipsychotic medications can be used to reduce the psychotic symptoms of schizophrenia, but they are not a cure. Medicines such as Clozaril can be taken in either liquid, tablet, or injection form. Most psychologists agree that the most effective treatment of schizophrenia is a combination of antipsychotic medication, social support, psychosocial therapy, and living a healthy lifestyle. This is Michael Hendrick. He published an article in the New York Times about how schizophrenia affects his everyday life. Within this article, he talks about how paranoia makes it difficult for him to maintain and make social relationships. He also discusses how his disorganized behavior made it difficult for him to maintain a job, and how his disorganized thinking made it difficult for him to complete everyday tasks. He also suffers from hallucinations and delusions, which change his view of reality. He gives the example of how once his delusions made him believe he was a prophet trying to save the world while traveling through the UN. Michael Hendrick teaches us a very good lesson about how although schizophrenia is very difficult to live with, people can still learn to cope with it and live very successful lives, just as Hendrick has done. If people are informed about the early signs of schizophrenia, more individuals will be able to be diagnosed sooner, allowing them to receive the help that they need quicker. Knowing the symptoms, causes, and treatments of schizophrenia will help people understand how this mental disorder affects those who are diagnosed. There is not one single complete cure for schizophrenia, so it is important to be informed about the mental disorder, because, like any other illness, the first step towards finding a cure is awareness. Thank you very much.